Let's get into Lipo Lee, who's out here being accused of misappropriating $50,000 of Stockton funds. Now, here's the gag. I had no idea that Jason Lee, of all people, was a vice mayor of Stockton, California. I'm like, when the hell did y'all vote him into some stuff? Or maybe what it is, it's a little slow out there. So they don't have it's not a lot going on. But apparently, according to the reports, they claim that 50,000 of public funds from the city's risk mitigation fund, and that's like an emergency fund, like when you need to fund things that need fixing or whatever the case is. The mitigation money is like a last resort when you dip into that and go use that to kind of fix things that the people need in the neighborhood or in the town that in which you represent. So with all that being said, apparently this was an emergency for him because he felt there was a Wildin' Out event that happened out there. I don't know much about Stockton, California. I heard it's like a little small town type, like it's small. I mean, not small, but it's nothing really goes on out there. Like it's kind of boring. But I wouldn't put nothing past it because look, what people don't realize is that California, I won't even say LA, but maybe even LA, but California is huge. People think it's like, oh, it's like one of those small. No, literally, like you could drive 3 hours somewhere and still be in California. Like California is ginormous. So, and sometimes you even got to take a plane in California to get from point A to point B, depending on where you're going. So, so yeah, there was that. But I had this video that I had saw on Twitter, which I don't understand. Shout out to T with Tia, because this is where I got it from. But what I don't understand is how you bloggers putting watermarks on video. Child, why they got hashtag pedo President Trump on the Twitter? That's what I literally came across when I'm about to bring up this video. This is one thing I don't understand. If you didn't actually do the video report, and this is the video you took from another news channel, y'all should not be putting watermarks on other people's shit because this is not yours. But this is what I found over on the Twitter. So we're going to pull this video up. We'll also have to change up the audio because copyrights and things. And we're gonna come back and we're gonna talk. Please hold.
Stockton Vice Mayor Jason Lee is speaking out. It comes in response to a controversy over city funds being used for a recent Wildin' Out show.
He says everything was handled properly and in line with city policies. But as ABC 10's Austin Castro reports, the state attorney general may soon get involved in the investigation.
When I saw the weaponization of Wildin' Out in the press, I was extremely concerned. But it didn't shock me because the politically motivated attacks that have been happening over the last 6 months since this interim city manager has been here has been extremely concerning.
Stockton Vice Mayor Jason Lee on Wednesday defending he did nothing wrong and was not involved in the decision to use city money to save a comedy show, Wildin' Out at Adventist Health Arena, a show that Lee helped bring to Stockton and he also performed in. In emails obtained by ABC 10, arena officials warned city staff members that promoters of the show were considering canceling the May event because of low ticket sales a day before the show was set to happen. That's when someone at City Hall made the decision to use $50,000 from the city's risk mitigation fund to save the show. Lee says he was not involved in those conversations and everything was done according to current city policies.
Says the request should have gone to the city manager. It doesn't say the policy requires it to go to the city manager.
This week, Stockton's interim city manager launched an internal investigation into the money spent on the event, but Lee, as well as council member Mario Enriquez, say they did nothing wrong and they want the attorney general's office to step in and prove that.
This sudden controversy that came out of nowhere is nothing more than a distraction from the real scandal that's happening in the building behind me.
Lee is calling this investigation a conspiracy and pointed the finger back at interim city manager Steve Colangelo, accusing him of violating the Brown Act and retaliation.
I will be making a motion directing the city attorney to refer this matter to the California Attorney General's office because transparency is important, ethics is important.
In Stockton, Austin Castro, ABC 10.
Austin, thank you.
All right, so that's basically the report that's been going around. Now, what I don't understand is like, okay, so it seemed like to me, basically what I got from it is that they found a loophole in a way they didn't have to go through certain people to use that money for a situation. I think what Jason was probably trying to do was that because he has an association with Nick Cannon, he's done an episode. I don't know. I think a episode, maybe he's done multiple. I don't know. I don't watch Wildin' Out. I haven't watched Wildin' Out in years. But I mean, quiet as it's kept, there's a lot of shows on MTV that is overstayed their welcome that need to see the cancellation button or the axe and be sent to the cancellation graveyard. But I'm not the one making the decisions over at tired ass MTV. So there it is. So it is what it is. But in this whole situation, it just feels like to me that as a vice mayor, Jason is trying to bring some action or whatever into that neighborhood. The problem is that the people out there don't care about Wildin' Out. The tickets weren't selling. He found a loophole, I guess, used that money and wanted to, I guess, bring in some people that he knew that could boost the revenue of the ticket sales. And people were finding out, so why are you taking money that belongs to the people and using that for some sort of vanity project? So I'm thinking that's the way that they're looking at it. And also I'm thinking, when it comes down to Jason Lee, people, like, a lot of times when he does things, it always comes across as very self-serving. One of the things I've always said I particularly don't care about with him is that he cannot go 5 seconds without name dropping a damn celebrity. And it always feels like everything that you do is rooted in self-serving, or serving, like, whatever you got going on with you. Like, it's just, yeah, self-serving. It just feels very much like you want to pat on the back. Oh, look what I did. And when I want to come around and do things down the road, give me more votes and all this other. So it always comes across as self-serving. It doesn't come across like you really give a damn about the people in the community. Also, if y'all live out in Stockton, I want to know, like, now, if he's supposed to be a vice mayor, has he passed anything out there? Like, has he done anything for the community? How long has he been this vice mayor? Like, all of a sudden, I was yesterday years old, because that's when I found out, when this tea, that he is a vice mayor. I didn't even know he had that job. I thought he was still over there running his mouth, gossiping over there at Hollywood Unlocked and the Jason Lee Show over there on the YouTube. So, I mean, I don't follow him. So that's what I thought he was still out there doing. Or maybe I'm behind. But like I said, if I'm not following you, I don't know what you're doing until it makes national news. So I would generally be curious about this whole situation. It's like you bringing Wildin' Out to a town that is probably very much like Mayberry. Like, very dry, very boring, not a lot of celebrity interactions going. Now, maybe if he were to put this in West Hollywood or something or another, maybe it would have worked better out there, like somewhere in the LA area, because of celebrity and all that other stuff. Tickets would have probably did better out there. But if the people of the town is not all about the entertainment and stuff, or a Wildin' Out type situation, I don't know why that money was what the funds was misappropriated for that sort of thing. So what is it? So it starts at the top. You are the top, sir. You need to find out what's going on with this whole money. You saying you're being set up. I'll definitely be keeping you guys abreast of the story as it develops, because we don't really know much about the situation and what's going on, except for that video and what we have in the whole situation. So I'll definitely be keeping an eye on this. And I also think that with something like this happening, couldn't he possibly see jail time if convicted? Like, you could be thrown into jail, Miss Mamas, and I don't think you're ready to drop that soap. So I say all this to say, what do you guys think of this story regarding Lipo Lee out here allegedly misappropriating the people's money? And that whole, and all that other stuff. Like I said, I'll definitely keep you guys abreast, because I'm definitely interested in this messy story. So let me know what you guys think of this story, since I've said it like so many times, in the comments down below.